This is Talk with Audrey. Welcome back. The LA Auto Show, one of the world's largest auto shows, made its triumphant return, yay, in person, with over 1,000 vehicles on display at the LA Convention Center. It was a one-stop shop for the latest cars, trucks, SUVs, electric vehicles, and concept vehicles for the future. Well, it's back. Joining me live from the floor of the LA Auto Show, automotive industry experts Tony and Woodie Lesesne, and we're going to talk about the excitement happening there. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Loving it.
My pleasure. Well, guys, what is it like to be in person at the LA Auto Show after such a long time?
It is fantastic. We're having a wonderful time. The environment is beautiful. It's safe. It's great to see people in person. It's wonderful to see the vehicles in person. You can actually touch them, feel them, and kind of get that energy, as well as the energy from the people that are here. But just being in the space makes it just amazing.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Well, I see Hyundai's latest concept vehicle is right behind you. It's a beautiful car. Tell us all about it.
Well, it is the Hyundai Ioniq. I'm sorry, the 7. I apologize. It's a part of the Ioniq family is what it is. It's part of the battery electric vehicle family. And this one is just like superb. I've never seen anything like it. I'm totally blown away by the exterior design. A lot more curvatures to it. It's a sexy vehicle, even though it's a good sized vehicle. But when you get on the inside is really what takes me away, because there's so much that's happening on the inside. It's a 3.2 meter space, which is really huge. It gives you a lot of elbow. There's so much that you can do on the interior as far as designing it and laying it out. And there are some elements of that you can adjust, but it creates a very relaxing lounge kind of an environment, which makes it, I think, just superb and makes it very multifunction in its use and application.
7 is it has two things to remember. Parametric pixels. That's what you see right here behind us. These pixels is consistent across the Ioniq line, and it's the lighting scheme both on the back, the side, and the front that's unlike anything out there. And then the asymmetric doors, 2 doors that open on one side and 1 door on the driver's side.
Right.
You have kinds of technology where the stick and all those things shift up and then they disappear. And you just have a very smooth,
very
clean lines where you're just touching stuff. So it's really very unique.
I think one of the things that really jumped out at me, as well as the fact that there are so many sustainable materials that are used throughout the vehicle and in its design, and there's copper and elements of that. And
bamboo.
What's also very cool is the bamboo, which is, I'm really a fan of bamboo because it has tremendous amount of sustaining lifespan, and it just gives it a very clean, slick look. But I mean, everything on the inside is just wonderful. You've got to walk in there and experience it for yourself. And the other thing, lastly, is that there's an interesting color scheme on this one. It's the Earth's ionosphere green, which is, I think, an interesting color, and it ties all the way in with everything about the vehicle and its sustainability.
Well, as automotive experts, you've seen a lot through the years. Talk to us about technology and how that technology has changed the driving experience.
Well, first and foremost, consumers today really are technologically driven, and as we continue to see millennials take over the basically consumer base, you're going to see a greater need for this technology and our smartphones to talk to our cars to be able to be programmable. We're also going to notice a lot more, less knobs and a lot more push button, a lot more smoother surfaces. Flat screens and things of this nature. And of course, it's about saving the planet. You're talking about, in Hyundai's case, with the Ioniq line of electric vehicles, basically trying to reach a carbon neutral goal by 2045. So these are sort of the consumer-driven technologies that are really reshaping the way we look at cars today and where we'll see them in the future.
So for people who haven't driven an electric vehicle before, tell us a little about the power behind the engine. Is that experience still the same? Is the pickup still the same?
It's a rush.
It's a rush. I mean, it's an electric charge, so it's a very quick spark, and it has a lot of power. And I think that's one of those things that people are probably not as familiar with. Today, the technology has gotten to the place where the battery and the life, how far you can go in the vehicle, up to 300 miles on a single charge. And also, you can get a really fast charge of about 80% in like 20 minutes, which is something that's continually changing and evolving and making it much faster. And I think making it, as far as the consumers are concerned, from my standpoint, being able to you know, say, look, I can have a vehicle like this because I know it's going to get me where I need to go, and I'm not going to worry about it dying too early. You know, so the battery life has really changed.
It's starting to change, and as well, Woody, if you think about the charging stations, but when you also talk about the performance, so there's going to be more charging stations as we continue to roll more out, but it's also important to note that when you're driving these vehicles, even though you have that burst of acceleration, you're still going to have a very smooth ride than you may see with combustible engines.
And quiet.
And quiet, definitely quiet.
You don't even know that it's on. It's quiet.
What other trends are you seeing at the show?
Woody?
Well, it's very, very much consumer driven. I think people and manufacturers are looking at designing vehicles that are more in line with people's lifestyles and giving them the flexibility that they need and having a diversity of uses. I think people are looking for more of that right now, and I certainly see that in the lineup of vehicles, and in this 7 right here, it's definitely right there.
Yeah, when you talk about trends, you know, you look at this 7 here, you're going to see a trend setter. You're going to see a lot of other manufacturers try to pull or take from what they see as successes. So it's really good to be the trendsetter, the front runner, and I think everyone has an opportunity to do that in the manufacturing world in a given space. I think in this case, you're talking about a huge SUV that's large but beautiful, sexy, streamlined, and totally ergonomically and economically good for the planet.
All of it.
So you're really looking at something quite different, and I think in this case you're going to see a trend change in SUVs and how we look at them, how they perform.
Especially for the SUV sector, which is the electric vehicle sector.
Woody, you mentioned one of the things I thought was, we were talking about this, is that lounge environment, you don't even need to be driving to be in there and have some fun, and have some coffee or meeting, right?
Have a meeting right there in the vehicle without having to go into other spaces. So I think that's really very interesting and very unique, and it certainly gives people, again, access to moving and doing things as they need to, where they need to.
Tony and Woody Lesesne have been my guests. Where can we go for some more information?
HyundaiUSA.com.
Absolutely. Check it out. And there's lots of other cool things they're doing.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you,
Audrey.
too.
Take care.